Hey folks, it's Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be religions and reality. Okay, life is basically too complicated to codify in a bunch of text. And so basically if you want a good guide for life, if you want to try to transmit knowledge to somebody else to help them live a better life, you can't get caught up in the details. You got to stay high concept. Or basically you only deal with the stuff that the conscious mind can handle, then you leave the details to the unconscious. So that's how it should do. That's how it should be. If they get caught up in the details, they've took something that should have been left for the intuition and tried to make it conscious, which is a waste of time. But anyway, and a lot of times I say too much, and basically what I figured out is I first started out trying to just give people the high concept and no explanation, and I realized that didn't work. So anyway, let's get on with this. Okay, so here's basically your teacher. Reality. That's your teacher. That's your end goal. Your end goal is not, Billy DKY, he knows what's going on. Let's talk to him. No, I'm not your end teacher. I'm trying to point you to reality. That tree, that grass, everything interaction you have on a day-to-day basis is your teacher. And this is my favorite book on spirituality and that kind of stuff, the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. And I would get this translation if I got it. But guess what? This ain't your ultimate teacher either. This just guides you back to seeing it for yourself. You know what I mean? It's like looking at an artist. You look at a picture. You shouldn't be wasting your time too much looking at the picture the artist created. You should go out and look at what they were pointing at, the flower. You know, let's say it's a picture of a flower. You go out and look at the flower, smell it, feel it. You know what I'm saying? That's the real beauty of it, is to see it for yourself, not to believe it because somebody told you. Okay, so again, your end teacher is reality. Okay? Let's talk about Christianity. Notice what Christianity, and this is not going to be proportioned, and it's just to generally convey an idea. If you get caught up in the details with me, you're missing the point of my message. You should always be looking for the message I'm trying to present to you, not necessarily the technical details. So, with that said, basically what you see is Christianity, it really doesn't cover reality that well. And I mean, that's why you see a lot of fantasy stories over here, and maybe that was used to convey something, but when people start taking it literally, it really starts pissing people off who live in reality. It really pisses them off. So notice it only carves out a small section of reality. Now what I'm getting ready to talk about is Islam. I've never studied Islam, but I'm pretty sure this is probably about right. Somebody's telling me I should start reading it, which I am going to start reading Islam just to understand what they're talking about. So, you know, I at least need to be open-minded. And I'm going to try to do a review on it, and this is really sort of a lead into that review. Okay, so basically I see Islam probably is not much different than Christianity. It's going to be a different bent, a different mind, different people looking at reality from a different way. And so I'm expecting it to be about the same as Christianity. It's going to cut into reality. And again, don't get caught up in the proportions of reality. It's quick drawing. And I'm sure Christianity and Islam have some crossover where they're both wrong. And they cross over. And then they both have some sections where they both agree on reality. And have some sections where they talk about reality the other one doesn't talk about. So that's what I see coming with the. Like I said, I haven't read Islam, but I am going to read it. And I figure if I'm going to read it, I might as well review it and put a review out on it as I read it and get other people's thoughts and comments on it. So now let's bring Buddhism and Taoism into the equation. This is going to get a little messy. So basically what I found is Buddhism is really pretty realistic. I mean, it sticks with the reality in a lot of ways. You know, at least probably the foundation of what the Buddha really meant. I mean, some of the other stuff, he gets lost a little bit in some utopia kind of thinking. But in the essence, Buddha's pretty good at reality. He stays in reality a lot. Maybe a little bit over here in the not really true, but, you can cut him some slack. And there's a lot of crossovers between all of them. And Taoism is probably the most powerful of any of them I've ever studied. However, Taoism doesn't give you a next explanation to get your feet into it. So what I would recommend if you're just starting a spiritual path is to start with Buddhism. There's a book, 8 Mindful Steps to Happiness. And then I led into Taoism, which it sort of led naturally into that. So that's sort of how, notice how they all interconnect in something in a way. Well, notice where they all intersect is probably the point where that's some really solid truth. Like I said previously, the truth repeats itself endlessly. Therefore, it is verified by many sources. So, there's going to be parts out there where nothing but Christianity says it. That's probably not the truth. It's going to be the same with Islam. Probably not the truth. Same with Taoism, Buddhism. So it's probably not the truth. The part where they all interconnect, that's a really good spot. You can say, you know what, that's probably right. And there's going to be, and science goes in here and it gets way too messy. But that's basically how religions and reality go. And again, your goal, if you may have a bent towards Islam, but eventually you should let go of Islam and your reality should be your religion. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say wild animals have the best religion because they don't have no religion. You know what I'm saying? They just live in reality. So, again, you may start at one of these, but your end goal should be reality. I mean, I started out here and let go because it didn't work. And I started with Buddhism, with the Taoism, but eventually I let go of all those. And reality is my teacher. So, if anybody ever wants you, they want to be your master, they don't want to lead you to reality as your final teacher, you're stepping into somebody that's got a little bit of cult-minded going. So, anyway, again, this is going to be my lead-in to a new series I'm going to try. I don't know how it's all going to work out because I don't know, but so I'm going to start reviewing the Islam and just see how it goes. And plus, too, if I'm going to step out on the world stage and basically implement Falling the Way of Growth and teaching people how to eventually have reality as their end teacher, then I have to be able to understand other people's religions to point out where they're right and where they're wrong, and so I can guide them to their ultimate teacher, which is reality. Anyway, folks, until next time, later.